So for this question here, we really have three primary approaches. And I'll go ahead and walk you through each of the three just so you feel comfortable and can choose what makes the most sense for you. Now, because they are both in standard form, we have a linear system of equations. And the fact that all the answer options are actual numbers instead of potentially the special cases of no solution or infinitely many cases or infinitely many solutions, I would use the program solve systems. So let's go ahead to program number 4. And what's nice is we just have to type in the coefficients because the standard form that we're desiring is already here for us. So we'll go ahead and type in 3 for the coefficient of x. Notice this one's -4. You want to make sure you use the negative key down here instead of, let's say, the minus key. We have 10 for the constant. And then we'll do the same thing here. We have 2, -4. And 6. Again, very important with that negative that you use the negative key instead of the minus. And then notice they simply want the value of y. So that's going to be 1/2, making the correct answer B. And we get the answer really nicely and quickly. Now, you could use Desmos. I think that's the second best approach. And Desmos is in the upper right corner of our software, as well as in Blue Book, which is what you're going to be using on the digital SAT. Now, if you have any equations from a previous problem, you'll click on the gear icon and then delete all. And then you may need to kind of reorient things. In my case, I have a touch screen, so I could just drag, but you might need to hold Control- if you don't have a touch screen. And let's see here. Things sometimes can get a little bit weird. Let me move this back here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and type these in. Now, either way, whether you're using our program or Desmos, you're going to be typing. In this case, you have to type a little bit more because you have to actually type the variables. I'm just going to use my keypad. However, you could choose, if you wanted, to use their keypad. So it's right there. And I'm just going to continue with my own keypad. So I'm going to type in the 2x minus 4y equals 6. And we're going to look for the point of intersection. So I'm going to press enter and we'll check it out. So we'll go down here and we'll go ahead and click to see where it is. And that's the thing with Desmos. It's really good, but of course you kind of have to click to find it. Oh, there we go. I just need to go like this, kind of drag this part because it was kind of in a weird format. But we can see that the point of intersection right here is 4, 1/2 or 0.5. And we simply wanted the y coordinate. So we know we still get B as our answer option. Another good thing, of course, is with Desmos, even though it said 0.5, I know you know that the fraction equivalent is 1/2. But something that's pretty cool is you can go here, type in 0.5, and then just click this fraction button and it'll turn it into a fraction for you. Particularly if it was probably a little bit more of a tricky fraction than just 0.5 equal to 1/2. Now, those are the two primary approaches using some kind of graphing calculator. I think our program was the best approach, then Desmos. But if you're curious how to do it by hand, I definitely want to show you that. And if we go to the back side of page 33, our math reference document, so to side 2 here, you'll see that there's two main approaches for solving it algebraically. There's substitution, which is really good if a variable's already isolated, or the coefficients are 1 or -1, so you could easily isolate it. Elimination is when they're both in standard form. And that's what we have right here. Now, I could either multiply the top equation by 2 and the bottom one by 3 so that the x's are the same. Really, I'd want to make one of them negative, and that way they eliminate. However, notice that the y's are already identical. So in this case, I'm just going to multiply one of them, more specifically the bottom one, by -1. And that way, when I flip all the signs, what's really important, I actually made this mistake just a moment ago and I had to redo this problem. If you don't distribute the negative to the constant on the other side, you're going to get an error. And that's a very common mistake. Like I said, I just made it myself. Now, notice the y's are now opposites. So when I add vertically, that y's cancel. For the x's, I get 3x minus 2x, which is 1x. Combine the constants, I get 4. However, they want the value of y. So now I just plug it back into either equation. In this bottom one, I'm just doing 2 times the x, whereas here I'm doing 3 times the x. Either one's going to get you the same answer, but I'd rather do 2 times something than 3. So then I'm going to go ahead and multiply, subtract the 8 to the other side. Obviously, you're seeing at this point using either our graphing calculator program or using Desmos is definitely easier, one of the two. And we still get the same answer of B.